Alrighty, everyone, let's get started with skill 2, which is evaluating radicals. So let's start off by reviewing our powers. So 2 to the first power is 2, 2 squared is 4, 2 cubed is 8, 2 to the fourth is 16, 2 to the fifth is 32, and 2 to the sixth is 64. Hopefully you all noticed that as we went down our list, each number got multiplied by 2. 2 times 2 is 4, 4 times 2 is 8, 8 times 2 is 16, and so on and so forth. Okay, let's do the column of threes. 3 to the first is 3. 3 squared is 9. 9 times 3, or 3 cubed, is going to be 27. And 3 to the fourth is going to be 81. Okay, let's do our fours. 4 to the first is 4. 4 squared is 16. And 4 cubed is going to be 64. All right, and finally, let's do our fives. 5 to the first is 5. 5 squared is 25. And 5 cubed is going to be 125. Yeah, 125. Okay, so having this list will come in handy. You don't have to have it memorized, but you can always write it out on your own when we start evaluating things that look like this. Because looking at that, it looks a little tricky to evaluate if you don't immediately have a calculator on hand. Okay, so looking at 16 to the 1/4 power, and we're trying to evaluate, I might notice that 16 appears right here. Here, let me choose a different color. That 16 appears right here with 2 to the fourth, and it also appears here when we're doing 4 squared. When I'm choosing to see which one I want to pick to rewrite first, I'm going to go with the 2 to the fourth instead of picking 4 squared. Now, here's why. I can rewrite 16 as 2 to the fourth power, and I need to bring down that 1/4 that comes along with it. So all I really did was I just rewrote this part right here. So I rewrote 16 as 2 to the fourth. These are two different ways of expressing the same value. Now, according to some exponent rules, when I've got a power to a power, I can just multiply my exponents. So I'm going to do 2 to the fourth times 1/4. Now, 4 times 1/4 is just the same thing as 1. So I really have 2 to the first power. 2 to the first power is just 2. So the answer to this one is 2. Let's take a look at 25 to the 1/2. Okay, 25 appears in the list with our column of fives. So I'm going to rewrite 25 as 5 squared. So instead of writing 25 to the 1/2, I'm going to write 5 squared, because that's the same thing as 25, to the power of 1/2. All right, now I've got a power to a power, so I can multiply and simplify. This is the same thing as saying 5. Well, 2 times 1/2 is just going to be 1. So this is the same thing as saying 5 to the first power. 5 to the first power is just 5. So 25 to the 1/2 is just saying 5. You might have also remembered that I can rewrite 25 to the 1/2 as the square root of 25. Anytime you've got a number being raised to the power of 1/2, we're taking the square root. Okay, let's look at 27 to the 2/3. Okay, so 27 is going to appear in our column of threes. So I'm going to rewrite 27 as 3 to the third power. And I'm raising that to the power of 2/3. So when I go to multiply this out, and when I say multiply, I mean multiply the exponents, I have 3 to the power of 3 times 2/3. When I'm multiplying 3 to 2/3, our threes are going to cancel out, because if I'm doing 3 times 2/3, I'm really doing 3 over 1 times 2 over 3. And we know from our rationals unit that this reduces to 0, so I'm just left with 2. So this is equal to 3 squared. And we know the answer to 3 squared. This is 9. So 27 to the 2/3 is equal to 9. Okay, let's do that last one. So the first thing I'm going to do is rewrite this radical as an exponent, and we're going to keep that negative on the outside for right now. So I'm going to put 8, and I'm rewriting this as 4/3 because 4 is in place of the m and 3 is in place of the n. Okay? And the next thing we want to do is rewrite it. So 8 appears in our list of 2's. Another way of writing 8 is 2 to the 3rd power. So I've got 2 to the 3rd power times 4 to the 3rd power. Okay, now all I did was rewrite this 8. This is where that 2 cubed came from. Swap those two things out because they're equivalent. Okay, let's keep simplifying. So when I go to multiply my exponents, I'm left with 2 to the 4th power because these 3's are going to reduce to 1. And we can see from our list up here that 2 to the 4th power is 16. So this is the same thing as saying negative 16 when I multiply that negative from in front. So this answer is negative 16. Go ahead and try the next 4 problems on your own. Pause the video, rewind, and listen to some of these explanations again if you need to.